What's actually in cheap coffee and how to buy the real thing. The coffee aisle is not what it looks like. Two nearly identical bags can hold completely different things, different bean species, different freshness, different quality, and the label tells you which is which, if you know how to read it. Nobody teaches you this. The coffee aisle mystery. The coffee aisle looks simple, rows of brown bags sorted by price, but what's inside those bags genuinely differs. Bean species, freshness, and quality grade, not just branding. The real differences come down to the bean species, Arabica versus Robusta, whether it was ground long ago or is still whole, what defects hide inside, and how it was roasted. The label carries more information than most people ever read. Roast date, origin, grading terms, and 5 signals are all it takes to shop like you know what you're doing. Once you know what to read, you can spot the genuinely better bag right next to the cheap one, often for only a little more, and you won't be able to unsee it. Arabica vs Robusta, the hidden split. The two main coffee species, Arabica and Robusta, taste completely different. Robusta is cheaper because it's easier to grow, but genuinely harsher and more bitter in the cup. Robusta has roughly twice the caffeine of Arabica and costs less to grow. That's why it anchors most instant coffee and many espresso blends, blended into a supermarket bag unannounced. It means paying smooth coffee prices for harsher beans. A bag labeled 100% coffee tells you almost nothing. Pure Robusta is still 100% coffee, while 100% Arabica at least guarantees the smoother species. It's the fastest quality check on the shelf. Many supermarket blends never say how much Robusta is inside. Specialty roasters who use it tend to say so openly. Transparency itself is a quality signal. Why pre-ground coffee fails. Pre-ground coffee stales in days to a few weeks. Grinding exposes millions of tiny surfaces to air, and the aromatic compounds that make coffee taste rich oxidize almost immediately. Once beans are ground, broken and defective beans disappear into uniform powder. You can't inspect what you bought, while whole beans show you exactly what's in the bag. Whole beans hold peak flavor for roughly 2 to 4 weeks after roasting, but ground coffee fades within days. A bag of grounds with no roast date was often packed months ago. Even an inexpensive hand grinder changes more about your cup than a pricier bag of pre-ground. Fresh grinding keeps the aromatic stale grounds have already lost. The dark roast camouflage. Very dark roasting can mask defects and staleness. Heavy roast flavor overwhelms the flavor of the bean itself, hiding what a lighter roast would expose. Notice how many of the cheapest bags are also the darkest. When roast flavor is all you taste, the underlying bean matters far less. If you've only had dark roast, you've never really tasted the bean. Aroma on a label describes taste, not quality or caffeine. Dark and light roasts have nearly identical caffeine, so strong mostly means we roasted it dark. Good coffee exists at every price in light and medium roasts, where you actually taste the bean. If you've avoided them assuming light means weak, that's worth retesting. Flavored and instant. Know the trade. Flavored coffees are often lower grade beans carrying sprayed on flavoring, vanilla, hazelnut, caramel, because good beans don't need masking, and flavoring hides a bean's shortcomings. Instant coffee is real brewed coffee that was then freeze-dried or spray-dried for convenience, but that processing strips most of the aromatics that make coffee worth drinking. Neither is bad. Instant earns its place for camping and travel, and flavored coffee suits people who don't like black coffee, but know the trade. You're paying for convenience or sweetness, not quality. There's a better middle ground. Buy whole beans, portion them into small airtight containers, and freeze what you won't use soon. Frozen whole beans keep aroma far better than an open bag on the counter. How to read the label. Roast date matters most. A bag roasted last week beats one with a best by date 2 years out. Best by dates are about shelf stability, not how long coffee actually stays good. Origin specificity matters. Ethiopia, Yirgacheffe, wash tells you far more than blend. A named region means someone specific is accountable for what's in the bag. Specialty means something specific. The Specialty Coffee Association grades samples for defects and flavor, and specialty coffee must score 80 or higher on a 100-point cupping scale. Specific terms carry real meaning. Washed or natural describe processing. Altitude grades describe growing conditions, while premium, gourmet, and artisanal have no defined standard at all. The practical fix: buy whole bean with a recent roast date and grind at home. Even a basic hand grinder works, and that one change upgrades your cup more than spending extra on pre-ground. Storage is straightforward. Airtight container, away from light, heat, and the fridge. Use beans within 2 to 4 weeks and staling mostly stops being your problem. Grind size matters, but the bigger win is grinding fresh. An inexpensive burr grinder with fresh beans beats the fanciest setup fed stale pre-ground. Once you've tried this, whole bean, home grind, 2-week rotation, pre-ground will taste stale to you, and you'll wonder why you waited. Your buying checklist. The 5-point checklist: whole bean, a visible recent roast date, a named origin, country or region, not just blend, a roast level you actually like, and a bag size you'll finish in 2 to 4 weeks. Good coffee doesn't need expensive gear. A basic hand grinder, your kitchen, and 5 minutes each morning. The beans matter far more than the equipment. Next time you shop, ship the pre-ground, look for the roast date, and check whether Robusta is hiding in the blend. One bag will teach you more than this video can. If this changed how you'll buy your next bag, subscribe. This channel breaks down what beginners should know before they start and before they buy. The biggest shift happens when you stop trusting the supermarket default and start checking the label, and it costs almost nothing. Grab a bag with a roast date this week, grind it at home, and taste the difference one decision makes.